All right, let's dive into something that feels like it's straight out of a sci-fi movie, but it's not. It's happening right now. We're talking about the future of intelligence itself, a future being forged by AI, and the fact that we're all connected, all the time.
Okay, just let that sink in for a second. This isn't just a clever metaphor. The idea here is that a very real process is unfolding as we speak. Our collective thoughts, all our data, supercharged by technology, are starting to create something entirely new.
So what does it actually mean for our planet to have a mind? A mind that's not made of rock or water, but of pure, flowing information? It's a huge question, and we absolutely have to explore it.
Well, this idea actually has a name, the noosphere. Think of it like a new layer wrapping around the planet. It's not physical, it's not biological, it's cognitive. It's a shared thinking space, a sphere of thought made up of billions of human minds and, more, artificial intelligences, all linked together. It's basically the sum of all our consciousness woven into one giant network.
You know, this used to be just a philosophical concept, something to debate in a classroom. But today, it's become a reality. We are living inside this thing every single day. So the question is, how on earth did we get here?
To really get it, you have to see it as part of this epic planetary story. So first, you had the geosphere, the physical planet, right? The rock, the water. Then out of that came the biosphere, the layer of all living things. And now, out of life and consciousness itself, a third layer is forming, the noosphere, the sphere of pure thought.
So what flipped the switch? What took this from a theory to an active, living thing? It was basically a perfect storm of three massive forces. First, global connectivity. The internet, smartphones, suddenly linked us all in real time. Second, AI stopped being just a tool we used and became an active player in shaping what we see and think. And third, ideas themselves started acting like living things, spreading, competing, and evolving on their own.
And this, right here, perfectly captures the shift. Our shared mental space isn't some quiet, passive library of knowledge anymore. No way. It's an active, chaotic, and incredibly competitive environment where different ideas and narratives are literally fighting for our attention and for our belief.
So, this planetary mind is real, but here's the catch. It's not some wise, mature, all-knowing entity, not even close. In fact, right now, it's in a really volatile and, frankly, dangerous phase.
The best way to think about it is like a teenager. Seriously. It's bursting with raw energy and unbelievable potential, but it's also confused, it's unstable, it's prone to wild emotional swings, and it makes some really bad judgments.
Does that sound familiar at all? I mean, the symptoms are everywhere you look. We see misinformation spreading like wildfire while the truth is still tying its shoes. We see society breaking apart into these little digital tribes that can't even talk to each other anymore. And we all feel that constant cognitive overload, that feeling of being completely exhausted by information. That's the turbulence of a planetary mind going through its teenage years.
But there's an even more direct threat than just growing pains. There are actual coordinated efforts happening right now to capture and control the very infrastructure of this emerging mind. You could call it the enclosure of intelligence. And here's the critical part. When just a handful of companies control the physical layers of AI, we're talking the chips, the cloud servers, the giant data centers, they aren't just controlling technology. They're controlling the very environment where intelligence itself lives and breathes. They are, in a very real sense, putting up fences around the future of thought.
This whole adolescent phase, well, it can't last forever. Growth always forces a choice. And right now, humanity is standing at a major fork in the road, staring down two completely different futures for this planetary mind.
On one side, you've got the upward path. That's a future of coherence, of collective wisdom, where this new global intelligence actually works for the good of all life. But then there's the other side, the downward path. And that's a future of fragmentation, constant manipulation, and the complete collapse of any shared reality. The stakes, they couldn't possibly be higher.
Now, when you're faced with a threat this massive, it's so easy to just feel helpless. But the argument here isn't to despair. It's a call for something else entirely, a collective wake-up call.
This is what's called a nospheric shock. It's that sudden moment of collective realization, when we, as a whole, finally wake up and see what's at stake. It's when the planetary mind becomes aware of the danger to its own future. And that shock,
That awakening leads to a massive demand for transparency and for accountability.
Which of course brings us to the most important question of all. Because this isn't just a story about giant corporations and abstract ideas. A planetary mind is built from individual minds. So what part do we play in all this?
We participate every single day. We are constantly shaping the noosphere. We do it with the information we choose to click on and consume, with the ideas we decide are important enough to share and amplify, and with the values that our own actions help make normal in this giant shared ecosystem of thought.
And that's what it all comes down to. You have to understand this one simple, powerful fact. The noosphere isn't some external thing that's happening to us. It is us. It's our collective consciousness, now learning to think and create alongside the artificial minds we've built.
This awakening isn't going to happen all at once in some big flash of light. It's going to happen one person at a time through the conscious choices that people decide to make. So the final question isn't for society, it's for you. When this planetary awakening gets underway, will you be one of the ones who helped make it happen?